positive messages of peace, justice, and compassion that Islam offers. Similarly, we should also recall the incredible contributions of Muslim individuals to our societies that have gone unacknowledged for too long. Even today, in terms of the number of adherents, Islam is the second largest religion in the world. It is important for the world to realize that perpetuating discrimination, hostility, and violence towards Muslim individuals and communities would serve no purpose. The benefit lies for all, respecting and making it inclusive for all. Mutual respect, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, interfaith harmony and peaceful coexistence are attainable when there is space for everyone in the society to practice their religion and beliefs without fear and in a free manner. To that end, we should pledge to build a world that is fair and inclusive to everyone, as I just said. Let us put away our prejudices and preconceptions and learn more about the richness of the Islamic faith and culture. And we need to promote global harmony, interfaith harmony, and peaceful coexistence in the same light. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for their collaboration in hosting this significant joint panel discussion with Pakistan. I extend my most sincere appreciation also to our distinguished panelists for offering their time and insights. Ladies and gentlemen, Islam is a religion that embodies principles of moderation and pluralism, emphasizing compassion and tolerance. The teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advocate for treating all individuals with dignity and respect, irrespective of differences in race, creed, culture, gender, or for that matter, even religion. It is important to recognize that the actions of a few extremists do not define the essence of Islam. Yet, Islamophobia, unfortunately, prejudice, discrimination and violence against Muslims is a reality. This phenomenon is not new. The prejudice against people who identify as Muslims is rooted deeply in fear and bias that can take the form of hate speech, violence, and alienation and isolation from societies. Since the tragedy of 9/11, we have witnessed an alarming trend of rising animosity and institutional suspicions of Muslims and Islam across the world. It has indeed escalated to epidemic proportions. A narrative has been deployed and developed which mainly associates Muslim communities and their religion with violence and backwardness. Despite the adoption of the General Assembly's resolution on Islamophobia 2 years ago, despite the declarations and statements against Islamophobia by the United Nations Secretary General, by the High Commissioner of Human Rights, by several of the special rapporteurs and mandate holders of the United Nations Human Rights Councils, and by other leaders promoting inter-religious and inter-communal harmony, the incidence of Islamophobia, of discrimination, prejudice, and violence against Muslims have risen exponentially, both at the societal and state level, which is highly unfortunate. Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, alongside Turkey, Indonesia, and other fellow OIC member states, had been actively involved in the adoption of another crucial General Assembly's resolution, which is titled Measures to Combat Islamophobia. This resolution provides for the appointment of the United Nations Secretary General of a special envoy on Islamophobia, highlighting the collaborative efforts of these countries in addressing this highly pressing global issue. Ladies and gentlemen, at global level, the most visible and shocking current manifestation of Islamophobia is Israel's military onslaught in Gaza, as you all know. The killing of over 35,000 Palestinians in Gaza and plausible genocide against them has been justified by describing them as human animals. The same mindset has led to the foreign occupation and suppression of Muslims elsewhere, and to the series of foreign interventions in Muslim countries. At a societal and communal level, Islamophobia and Islamophobic incidents occur worldwide almost daily. These include despicable acts such as the desecration of the Holy Quran, such as in Europe, widespread hate speech against Muslims, both online and offline, discrimination within education and employment sectors that is visible all across the world, attacks on women wearing the hijab, the lynching of Muslims by co-vigilance, vandalization and destruction of mosques and other sacred sites with impunity. Islamophobia is also evident in racial and religious profiling and in media outlets that propagate hate and prejudice everywhere. In our own region, the Indian Prime Minister recently celebrated the consecration of a Hindu temple on the ruins of a historic 600 years old Babri mosque that was destroyed by the Hindutva zealots in 1992. A citizenship law in India discriminates against Muslims, potentially rendering millions stateless or second-class citizens. Preposterous regulations aim to curb so-called love jihad in the largest democracy, while Islamic names of cities are being replaced and Islamic heritage erased. Moreover, often go unpunished, and that further worsen the situation globally. In Jammu and Kashmir, India has been implementing its strategy to transform the Muslim majority into a Hindu majority by implementing draconian laws and deploying an occupation of army, which is 900,000 troops, to impose its colonial annexation of Kashmir. It has resorted to extrajudicial killings, collective punishments, and the incarceration of the entire political leadership of the All Parties Hurriyat Conference, which is the true voice of the Kashmiri people. The current trajectory of fear and misunderstanding is unsustainable for global harmony and progress. And we need to be mindful of that.
Organizing this event and inviting us all the way from Turkey to New York. And thank you very much. Well, Islamophobia is a very wide subject, and usually it takes one semester to teach it at the university. But I will try to summarize the main, important issues with regards to Islamophobia. So, of course, first question is, what is Islamophobia, and when it was introduced into the academia? Well, in the turn of the 20th century, it was used by two French scholars around 1910. And it is not really known who coined the term Islamophobia, but there are some estimations, and these two French scholars who used this word in 1910 in a work that they were analyzing the Western colonization of Africa. And later, other French authors also used the term Islamophobia. And so we can say it's been around this term since 1910. But then later it disappeared from the scholarly debate. But around 1985, Edward Said has used it in his reconsideration of Orientalism. And we can say the word or the term has become popular in 1997 when British think tank Runnymede Trust published a report titled Islamophobia, a Challenge for Us All. And in this report, Islamophobia is defined as an unfounded hostility towards Muslims and therefore fear or dislike of all or most Muslims.
Honorable guests, it's a pleasure to welcome you all here on the occasion of another event in Turkish House. We will have an enlightening discussion today on combating Islamophobia in the contemporary world. We are privileged to have the renowned scholars and academics in the field with us today, and their presence has been possible through the devoted cooperation and collaboration of Pakistani and Indonesian consulates in New York. I'd like to extend our heartfelt gratitude for our panelists for honoring us today, and to our colleagues from Pakistani and Indonesian consulates for their sincere efforts and support. We have set the stage for our discussion, but before we start, we will be honored to hear opening remarks by the Honorable Consul Generals. Now, please join me in welcoming Consul General of Pakistan, Ahmad Atozai, for his opening remarks.
Background in academia and public policy. Currently a distinguished lecturer in human rights at Roosevelt House Public Policy Institute, Hunter College in New York City. He's also a visiting faculty member at Brooks School of Public Policy at Cornell University. Mr. Rumi's vast experience in higher education includes teaching at Ithaca College and directing the Park Center for Independent Media. He has contributed significantly to institutions such as the New America Foundation, United States Institute of Peace, and the Laboratory for Global Performance in Politics at Georgetown University. With a professional journey, Dr. Ali is also the founder and president of Nusantara Foundation.
As well, and I'm proud Pakistani and a Muslim, you can see. And I would like to thank our Consul General of Pakistan, Mr. Ahmad Atozai, for inviting us here, and the Consul Generals of Turkey and Indonesia as well. It was very insightful discussions, and we really, I believe we are the chosen ones. We are sitting here in this space right now, exploring ideas, hearing the history, recalling our memories and everything. That's great. But I want to hear one thing, only one initiative, one strategy, or one program. Forget about the rest of the world. We have three amazing consulates here, consul generals sitting here. We have over 1 million Muslims only in New York. So you, as you know, I agree that Islamophobia is all about political gain and tax dollars in one way or other. And I agree that we as a Muslim Ummah lack with resources. But you all will be agree with me that we do not lack intellectual capabilities. We have 3 right in front of us. We have so many behind us. And we have thousands in this country as well. The only thing is that we are missing is the direction. We are missing the strategy. We are missing the initiative. So I want to hear from all 3 of you what one strategy or initiative you want these 3 consul journals to come together and start implementing and executing, and the whole full force will be there to follow their lead. So one suggestion from all 3 of you, and when we leave this room, we are not just forgetting about this conference. We have some real homework to do, we have some real action items to do, and we will continue that, and we will build that momentum, because it's all about advocacy, it's all about mobilizing, and it's all about unity. Thank you.
Well, it is very painful for all of us, what's happening in Gaza. And some people... Let's